Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Boy, oh boy, what a show we have tonight. We couldn't even wait to announce it. Yes, we do have a big guest coming up as we talk baseball with Cleveland baseball legend Omar Vizquel coming up in the next segment, so stick around. We are going to get into some baseball talk, some Browns talk, and do we cut another promo this week, or do we just have some fun at the end of the show? Still yet to be determined, but I'm Kevin Arnold. He's Always Positive Jay. Peter Tellup, our producer extraordinaire, alongside. We, of course, are part of the Big Play Network and partner with LPV Productions. We want to thank our friends over at Venture Tentacle, who will get the right person in the right job the first time. More to come on them as the show goes. And, of course, thank you to our friends at the Be On Air Network, the Ohio Media School, the Media School family, the Be On Air Podcast Network, where the audio gets streamed, of course, on other podcast platforms, and always live every Wednesday night, as many Wednesday nights as we can get to, with busy lives for all three of us at 8 o'clock on Twitter. Not saying X. I don't like that we had to get the blue check just so we could go live. But look, Elon Musk got some of our money, so, I'll call it Twitter X right now so that we keep our blue check. We're also live on YouTube and our Facebook page at Voice of Land, and for Facebook at Voice of Land Podcast. For YouTube, let's just jump right into baseball. Guardians right now tied 1-1 in the fifth with the Tigers. Struggling offensively recently, Jay. Just from your perspective, is it just the season of baseball and the ebbs of flow?
It's the season of baseball. Guess what? We came out hot, just like the Orioles and the Yankees. We cooled off a little bit. Teams adjust. It's now our move to adjust to the teams that made their adjustments. It's how you go. It's the ebb and flows of baseball season. You're going to have up and downs. Like our guest will tell you how it is. And I'm just not worried about it, Kevin. You still got the best record in baseball, and you're not supposed to. So I'm happy. I'm jealous of your hat. I wanted that hat. As soon as you came in, I'm like, man,
All right.
He got my hat.
For 1 second, let not 1 second, but you know what I mean. Just let's sidebar for a second. Still talking Guardians, but this City Connect line of gear that they have is absolutely phenomenal.
Fire.
And should be implemented somehow more regularly moving forward.
When it first came out, I was like a little I wasn't sure about it.
You see it on the jerseys on the game in the field.
With Jacob, I went to a game and we went to the tent, the team shop tent outside, and looking at it. And it's just, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I just really love like all the little details in that. It kind of reminds me of like a GV artwork type shirt where you have these little details, and it's like, oh, I didn't notice that at first. And it's just, it really has grown on me, and I really want a jersey. I don't have the money right now to buy the jersey.
I know why you can't buy a jersey, because those are awfully expensive.
Oh yes, they're over $200. They're $200 or more. Like with the players' names on them, I think they're without, to get like the legitimate stitching and all that without anything on the back, it's like $150 to $175.
Yeah, that's the hat I wanted for sure. They got a couple of sweet sweaters out there.
Oh my gosh, the hoodie is
the hoodie's sick.
The hoodie is spectacular. I like the one that has CLE, just like the jerseys do. Jana likes the one that has the patch with the Guardian. Like, why did we have to go with the split finger or whatever it is? Like, I get it.
What you're wearing?
Yeah, what I'm wearing right now in front of me. Like, if we could have done this and had that kind of branding when we did this whole name change, and I know we just passed by the anniversary, and for people that were saying that they weren't going to be fans anymore, like,
yeah, they're watching.
They're watching, because guess what? They're winning. Winning is going to bring more eyes. Winning is going to bring more people to ballparks. They have packed ballparks all the time. They have at least 11 sellouts. Sunday, when the family and I were there, boy, it was packed. It was, up top, there was a lot more room to move around, but we kind of need that with a little guy that likes to run around. But everybody was into it, even though they were struggling. Like, it felt like everyone was still in it the whole time, because they're down 2-0. You feel like you're always in it, even with the offensive struggles, as we were just talking about. Look, it is just baseball. And now we said at the beginning of this year when this whole run first started, these moments were going to happen. We prepared people. We were realistic that this was going to happen. But we also said, Jay, the best teams, the teams that go from good to great, are the teams that get through their struggles, the down part of the roller coaster of a baseball season. They get back up much faster than other teams. If you stay in that, just like the White Sox right from the start of the season, if you stay at the bottom of the hill for a long time, it becomes harder and harder and harder to climb back out. So hopefully last night kind of helped turn things around. Tonight was, at least the first half of the game, being down 1-0, only having one hit. It felt like one of those games where that wasn't, the offense just 1-0 was going to be enough. And look, it's 1-1, and you're going up against a good pitcher with a good pitcher on the mound for you. But the thing that they need, and it's coming up before we have our next show, it's the trade deadline. How aggressive should they be, Jay?
I'd say like minorly aggressive, just because there's just not a whole lot to be out there, on top of the fact that there is more teams in the playoffs. So that means there's more opportunities for other teams to get in the playoffs. So there's not as many teams that are going to be selling anymore, which unfortunate for us this year.
I did like Trevor Bauer's response to
someone saying that we should bring him back.
Yeah, and his response was, someone said something along the lines of, "Is Trevor Bauer's the answer to the Guardians rotation?"
Yeah,
and his response was, "Obviously." So,
yeah,
Trevor Bauer doesn't go back to the same spot. People just need to understand that. I highly doubt he'll ever go leave a team, and that they'll bring him back, because he's just one of those people. At first, he's awesome. By the second year, he seems like, oh, this guy's getting on my nerves. By the third year, you're like, dude, you're driving me crazy.
Yeah, but if they want to shore up the pitching staff for the rest of this season, you never know.
But my automatic rebuttal to that, why not to have Trevor Bauer, as talented as he could be and helpful as he could be, the culture that Terry Francona established, the reason why Trevor Bauer was let go anyways, before he even got into trouble and some allegations while in LA, was because he wasn't a fit for the culture that they were building. And what has Stephen Vogt done? He hasn't revamped anything. He's just added and kept what Terry Francona had. That is why a guy like Trevor Bauer won't be brought here. What I don't like is that the names being floated out there as possible available pitchers are in your own division. Are they going to trade with you?
No.
No. If they do, it's because they're going to try to fleece you for everything you got, and then you really are all in for half a year, or at least maybe a year and a half with some of the young talent you're not going to get rid of that's already made it to the majors.
I think we could probably fleece the White Sox. They're not all that bright. I mean, they're probably the most garbage team in baseball, dude.
From your mouth to God's ear.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there into the universe.
But we know what that's like, where they're at this year. Like, we know what that's like. It's just, I trust, and I continue to trust this front office. Where does the money come from? Like, if there's some sort of like money thing where you have to cover some part of the contract or whatever, sometimes those get involved in baseball trades too. Like, how many resources are they being allotted, and who are they willing, how many of their prospects are they willing to give up if someone like that becomes available? Like you, Jay, I think it's going to be, like a mid-level move, but you have to get this rotation deeper. Guys have to get into the game. They have to go deeper in the game. The thing that I've seen, and I covered a game on Friday. I was there with my family on Sunday. I've listened to games. I've watched games. The biggest issue I see with this pitching staff is not that it's not talented. They get to 0-2, 1-2. They can't put guys away. They allow too many teams, not just the Padres this past weekend.
Their timely hitting has been way off, and it was awesome at the beginning of the year.
Right, but from a pitching staff standpoint, they're allowing guys to foul off pitches, see more, get their pitch count up higher much earlier in the game, and get to that bullpen and use them up so that they're more tired. And now they're giving up runs out there in the bullpen. our starters, we need guys that are getting into the 6th, sometimes 7th inning to give that bullpen a little bit of a break, to keep the team in.
Nice,
and that's what
we can
Bibby's
get like a complete game once. Like we used to have those guys come in.
Unfortunately, we don't have those guys right now. The closest one we have is Tanner Bibby, and he's pitching pretty well tonight. It's just you have to put guys away. It's so frustrating. And credit to the opponents, like they're doing what they're supposed to. Every hitter is trying to see as many pitches as possible, and if they don't get a hit, they get more information for their teammates and keep passing it along so that you get the starter out sooner and you can get to bullpens, especially the bad bullpens, a lot earlier and take advantage of those moments. That's what our pitching staff needs, and that we need guys that are going to do that. We need inning eaters, but above average inning eating performances from our starting pitching staff. Baseball is still at the forefront of the conversation. Yes, we will talk football later, but look, it's good to have these problems when you're 20 games over 500. Yeah. Like, I like having these conversations and being frustrated to this point instead of like, we're not doing anything. We're sellers. We're losing.
Our frustration's coming from a good place. That's the thing. Like, if they weren't winning, we'd be like, we just probably wouldn't be paying attention. Like, a lot of the city wouldn't be paying attention.
Yeah.
We came into this season low expectations. They raised them way higher than what they were. And now if they're not winning, we expect them to win now. That's why. When that's a good thing. They should expect to win.
But that's the culture that they've established
from
Francona through Vogt. Like, even though we had low expectations, they continue to have high expectations for themselves. And I don't know if they feel like they've even exceeded those expectations to this point, which is a good thing. And it's a good thing to go through these struggles right now at this time of the season. We also talked about these kind of struggles and this current team with a former Cleveland baseball legend. We talked about his time in the 90s. We talked so many different things. He's coming to town, doing some great things with the youth alongside Carlos Baerga. You will hear all about that next. We recorded on Monday. I guess I shouldn't have told you that because I'm wearing the same thing. I was going to try to do this whole thing. I transported home and then came back. No, it's not going to work. We don't keep any secrets.
Kevin didn't cue me in on it, so it's
I just thought maybe we had like this telekinesis type thing. But Omar Vizquel, Cleveland baseball legend.
I had my Magneto helmet on.
Voice of the Land interview on the other side. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and Be On Air podcast networks.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to this edition of the Voice of the Land. And yes, we may look a little different, but we have a very special guest. We're recording an interview earlier this week and playing it for you now on our show here on Wednesday nights. I'm Kevin Arnold. That is always Positive J. And of course, the man in the middle. If you are a Cleveland sports fan, you needs no introduction but one of the Cleveland baseball greats, Omar Vizquel, gracious enough to give us some time here tonight. Omar, first off, thank you so much. You have no idea how many memories my grandfather and I now share and how many great memories we share. Him being the baseball guy and teaching me all about the sport. Those times in the 90s were absolutely terrific. So it is a pleasure and an honor to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Jay and Kevin. Greetings from Venezuela. You know, I'm spending some time here in my hometown in Caracas. As you can see with the sweater, I was part of a summer league that was running here for about 65 games. And the Caracas team was the one that got the championship on 2 days ago. They went to the finals with a team from Aragua. and then we beat them in 5 games. So it was a very good, exciting championship. The league was amazing. We get to connect with the communities in all the cities that we play in. And I think we did a great job promoting baseball all over Venezuela, and I'm very excited for that opportunity.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on. Like Kevin said, this is like I told you before the show, you're on my Mount Rushmore sports players growing up. This is a dream come true. And congratulations on your championship. Now, you're coming to Cleveland soon here, and you're teaming up with the former player. What's going on with that?
Yeah, next week I'm gonna be heading to Cleveland. We're gonna be sharing some baseball fundamentals with some of the teams there. We're gonna be on Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th in Lake County. And as you know, in the Cleveland area, the Lake County have a team there named the Captains. That was a team that I rehabbed for one of my knee assignments when I got hurt. It was at the time the single A team for the Cleveland Indians, and now for the Guardians, of course. And at the Classic Auto Group Park, I think it's called the ballpark. But we're really excited about the opportunity that we have to connect to the baseball fans there again. Remember, Monday and Tuesday, I'm gonna be there with Carlos Baerga. We're gonna be speaking about baseball. All these kids between the age of 6 and 12 have the opportunity to listen to our instructions and to ask all the questions they want. So it's going to be pretty fun. That's what we're doing here in Venezuela, too. We're doing a lot of clinics for kids. And it's amazing how smart and how well fundamental these kids nowadays are. They can teach you and they can give you a clinic on whatever subject that you talk about in baseball. And that's really amazing.
Well, if they're going to learn, you learn from an 11-time Gold Glove winner, Omar, man. The greatest I've ever seen do it. There's a reason I played shortstop. Kevin got to play a year with me. He knew where I played, and it's like I told you, it's because of you. And if you got kids, man, you and Carlos are the guys to learn from for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, Carlos is a guy that always talking, and pretty funny guy too. And I really enjoy being around him. And of course, this is gonna be all about baseball, and I'm sure that he's gonna bring some stories about the game that we played together and those years in the 90s.
Yeah, like I said, if I get out of work, I'll come down with the camera and I'll cover it, and we'll show it on our show for sure.
I mean, I might go down too because it's right down the street from where I'm sitting.
I know.
Right now at my house, literally right down the street is Classic Auto Group Park, and we get a chance to go out there. So we may have to, the family and I may have to go out there. And Jay, I mean, you just mentioned that Omar was your inspiration and to play shortstop. My wife, Jana, that's why she always played shortstop in baseball. And then, of course, moving on to fast pitch in grade school. Omar, what is it like for you to hear that, like, so many people now, of course, now adults, but like kids growing up in the 90s, especially here in Cleveland, like you were a big inspiration for where they wanted to play on the baseball diamond, who they wanted to emulate and wanted to put their work ethic, match their work ethic against?
Man, you feel pretty honored, for the kids when they mention your name and they say, I want to be like Omar. Right now, there is a different generation of players. All those little kids that were like to play shortstop, now they are in professional level. Now they are in the big league. I feel pretty weird when I hear Andres Jimenez and I hear Brian Rocchio saying, oh, he was my idol. I wanted to be like Omar when I was playing Little Leagues. And not only those guys, a lot of people from Venezuela, Jose Altuve, and some of those guys that we teach when we were doing these clinics. They recognized us from those days, and it's amazing that now they become the leaders of Major League from Venezuela in the big leagues. And, that's what we try to do. Right now, we're trying to spread the word of the good fundamentals of the game, good behaviors about, how you should act and how you should behave when you get to America, all the adjustment that you have to do, when it's time to get to America. And I hope that we can just do one little advice and they stick it in their head. And maybe that little thing can help them to become elite players in the big leagues.
I remember when I was a kid hearing how you got good at barehanding balls, and if I remember correctly, it was because you didn't have a glove when you were a kid, so you naturally became really good at barehanding. So what I would do to make it hard on myself, there was a huge wall building across the street in the parking lot. I'd take a golf ball, no glove, and I would throw it at that wall, and I would have to learn how to catch it with just my bare hands off that high speed. And I'm like, I would do anything I could to be as good as you are, and I ain't even could come close to it. But if, like I said, if I had someone like one of these camps, it would have helped a lot more.
Well, those are some of the drills that we incorporated when you teach to kids. We don't do golf balls, we do it with golf balls or tennis balls, and there are drills when you have to bounce the ball off the wall.
Look at that!
Distance,
I was doing it right.
Yeah, so you can move your feet, you can work on your hands. Of course, no glove. And I think when you do those drills and then you move on to the field with the glove, you have an advantage over so many times that you did that, the repetition, the time that you put in for your work, and then you get to feel the ground balls in a cleaner way.
And I mean, Omar, you impact so many kids all the time, and I've seen so many interviews where you talk about that and focus on that. Why, even beyond the game of baseball, why is it so important for you to continue to give back to your community, coming up here back to Cleveland, giving back to the youth, each new generation that's kind of coming through? What is it for you that just continues that passion to give back?
Well, because I remember when I was a little kid, I was looking for that idol, for that guy to speak to me, to give me some advices. By that time was David Concepcion, a guy that was playing shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. And when I hear David Concepcion speak, it was like Mickey Mouse talking to me. It was like this big, huge guy. I opened my ears as big as I could. I try to retain every word that David was talking to me. And, I try to apply that on the field. So I hope that we can make that impact in some of these guys that are growing up and try to become baseball players. We're doing that all the time. The fact that you take a picture with them, that you sign an autograph for them, that you sign their glove, and then talk about the stories that happen to you, the experience that you live in the big league and on professional level, that is very rare that you run into those kind of conversations. So when you speak with a guy like that, I think it opens up your eyes and you get to apply that on the field and for your career.
Or, when you come on two guys' podcasts that grew up watching you, that's another way to do it.
Well, you guys sometimes can still become the captain of your team, on the softball team, or whatever you play. So
I'm retired now. Kevin had to watch me tear my Achilles, and I was like, I'm out. I'm done. No more. That hurt too much.
There is always important, because if you get to be around kids at a young age, they're always looking for advice. They're always looking for answers. Why I'm not hitting the ball? Why am I struggling fielding ground balls? And maybe with the things that you hear of us speaking on the field, maybe it refreshes your mind and you can just bring those advices to these kids.
Mentioning kids, basically, this current team is so young, so good. What is your thought of the new team, the Guardians, this year?
It's amazing, man. The fact that they has been improving their game all the time, the combination that they have between young guys and veterans, the experience that they have in the coaching staff. Sandy Alomar always was a hero to me. I'm sure that he's speaking the right words to these guys. The manager, Boyd, I play with him. I know that he knows a lot about baseball. And I'm excited to see those guys being on the top. Even though the people doesn't give them as favorites on the division, they are there. They're fighting for to get to the top. And I'm feel very proud the way that they've been playing this season.
And Omar, right now, Omar Vizquel, of course, is our guest here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and Be On Air podcast networks. Omar, this team, like we just said, being so young and probably ahead of schedule on how good they're doing, but right now kind of going through those, what I would consider the typical kind of ebbs and flows of a baseball season, struggling offensively. there are a lot of fans that, when this team is good, they really jump on with this team. And when they start to struggle, they get concerned very quickly. Can you just explain from your experience through the game of baseball, especially playing 160 plus games a year, what that grind is like as a player, what these guys are going through in the middle part of this season right now?
Yeah, it's normal. These kind of struggles are normal. Everybody's go through. The Yankees are going through it, and even though they have an experienced team, they having their problems. And I think you have to find a way. You have to adjust and keep making those adjustments throughout the season, because, as you know, it is a roller coaster. Sometimes you're gonna be good. Some other times you're gonna be bad. But when you're bad and when you're struggling, it's what shows your character as a team. How you react to those situations, and how you improve every day, and how you support your teammates, and all that is how you created a chemistry in your team. They started hot, they didn't run to those problems, and now they're doing it. And this is a good way to show your character as a team. And I believe that they can do it. They have a good talent with, like I said, good pitching. And when you have that, I think that you can come up on the top.
I mean, a perfect example is probably the greatest regular season game I've ever seen. It was on ESPN National, sitting in my living room, and you guys were down, I think, 17-2 or something to Seattle. And it came all
12 to 2.
12 to 2. And what was it? Down 3 in the 9th inning, 2 out, and some little shortstop came up and rips a triple down the line to tie it.
That's right. Bases
That's what it's about.
I remember we were playing the Seattle Mariners, and
who was the number 1 team at the time.
And Suzuki was one of the best closers in the game at that time. I took him to a count 3-2, and then I connected a line drive ground ball over the first baseman line, and it became a triple with the bases loaded when we tied up the game. And then 2 innings later, Jolbert Cabrera got a base hit to score Kenny Lofton. So it was one of the most exciting games that we played those years.
I just remember sitting there watching that as a kid, and I'm like, they're going to come back. These guys never quit. And they just slowly chipping away. And then that 9th inning, when you hit that shot, I was like, game, there's no way they're going to lose. It was fun. What do you feel like when you pop up at third and you just tied it, like you just tied in Major League record, I believe? What is that? What is going through you, man?
I couldn't believe it because I remember that day my kid was 5 years old, and he was a bad boy for first time. And all it was in my head is, please let's play good baseball, because if we lose the game, they're gonna say, oh, it's because Omar's kid was here. He bring us bad vibes or something. But that game was amazing. It was 42,000 people in the beginning of the game, and in the 9th inning, I think that we have 4,000. But it make it feel like we have, the whole stadium full, because the energy of the guys that stay on that game was amazing, and we finally won. It was one of the best drills ever.
Omar, I don't really want to admit this, but I need to admit this. I was in the stands that night. I was maybe 7 or 8 that year. It was my dad and my grandfather, and we were sitting in one of the top rows. And in the 7th inning, we had to leave. Now, Grandpa's back was really giving out on him in the chair, so we thought, okay, best thing to do, get him home. And as we're listening on the way home, we're like, why did we leave? Why? And I hear
stories. I hear stories of people leaving like in the 5th or 6th inning, and then they came back in the 8th because they stay walking around the ballpark. When they start listening to all the commotion that was going on in the game, they came back again and started people coming back into the ballpark. So it was a funny story. I had some friends out of town, came from Miami to spend the weekend, and they were like saying, "Oh man, we're gonna wait for you at home." And then on this Sunday we start scoring runs, and they stay at the ballpark. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I was just watching a bunch of old '90s videos and stuff, and you brought up Sandy, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was when Randy Johnson threw at Kenny twice, and and everyone breaks out, and it's a big scuffle, whatever. it's like no one could stop Sandy. Sandy had enough of this dude. Like Sandy was ready to fight Randy Johnson, and they had to throw him out of the game. They're like, you're not even allowed to play because you're not going to stop. He's so big for a catcher too, man. And I was like, oh man, you better stop him because if he gets a hold of Randy Johnson.
I think that he had the whole catching gear on too, right?
He had all his catcher gear on.
Yeah,
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, man, he just.
Yeah.
That had to be. I mean, that had to just be the best times, those 90s.
Yeah, those teams were so cool, man. We were like a family together. We hang out outside the ballpark. We went hang out hotels together. I mean, it was like a bunch of cousins playing together. I think that was one of the best teams that I played. Not only because we win a lot of games, but you can tell the how together, how everybody like each other. It was an amazing teams.
How important is that, Omar, to like not just have like talented teams, but teams that are together? Because we see it and we hear it with all three teams here in Cleveland right now, and that's why they're having more success. But to you, why is that so important to have that type of chemistry and cohesion together, where you do feel like when the game's over, we still want to be together?
Yeah, because you care for each other. You care for the guy next to you striking out 3 times. You care for the guy that give up the home run to lose the game. You care for the guys that make an error and we let the game go by. I mean, you talk after the game. You sit down, have dinner together. We speak about those problems, and and you care. You show that character, and you build up that chemistry with everybody. And when you got pitchers, catchers, outfielders, infielders, everybody thinking the same way, and one goal is to win and to try to improve all those errors, I think that's when you success come on. When you care 162 games, man, that's just something that you hurt. You go home when you lose a game and you're thinking about it. You think about your teammate that screwed up or wasn't lucky enough. And then the next day you go right back at it and you talk to him and you bring him back on board, and nobody hang their head in the clubhouse. That is really important.
My dad always said it's like a band of brothers with baseball. That's just the way it is, because you have so many weeks on the road and just away from your family, and it's just you and the guys, and you just, if you don't like each other, you're not going to have fun, and if you ain't having fun, you ain't going to do good.
That's right.
No, Omar, we really appreciate you joining us and taking the time. We don't want to take too much of your time, but real quick.
Yeah, I could probably talk for the next 4 days with you about baseball, but
We got Cleveland, man. You can look me up over there. We're gonna hang out.
for sure.
And do a lot of things. So if you're over there, come over and we talk some more.
Sounds good.
And we would love to have you back on. But real quick, you talked about how Carlos Baerga loves to tell stories of the 90s. Is there like a story that stands out to you from that time that, I mean, I guess is suitable for air, but like a story that really still resonates with you still today?
Bueno, Carlos was the one that broke a double play when I was playing for Seattle. And he took me out in second base and he put me out for about a month. I have to go on the rehab. I have to take care of my knee. And then when I got to Cleveland, he was the one that took care of me. He was the one apologizing and saying, Omar, I'm sorry. This is the way that I play the game pretty hard. And I understood where Carlos was coming from and just was a little hurt. But, this is just one of the many. This is how I connected with Carlos Baerga. And, we can talk about Carlos for hours because he was one of the guys, leaders on the team. And, he cares about everybody around him. And I'm so glad that we are doing stuff together right now. A fun guy to be around. And I want you guys to meet him if you don't have that opportunity. And we continue to speak about this.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we would love to meet up with you and talk, and of course have you back on because we love talking baseball on the show. We absolutely love it. Real quick, Omar, you are coming to town. Tell people about next week, everything that's kind of going on, especially what you have here where I'm living in Lake County.
Well, first of all, Sunday, the 28th, I'm going to be signing autograph at the convention center. As you guys know, there is a big signing there. I'm going to be signing there, I think, after 3 o'clock. And Carlos is going to be signing a bunch of athletes. I'm going to be signing there. But on Monday, the 29th, and Tuesday, the 30th, we're going to be doing some clinics in Lake County, where the captains play at the Classic Auto Group Park baseball field. I think it's between 9 o'clock in the morning and 12. I'm not sure about the time, but we're going to be there doing the clinics. Then on Thursday, I'm going to be going to the 455 Club, then Harry Buffalo and Eat 4. That is a group of people that have these dinners together. I'm going to be on Thursday, August 1st. I'm going to be there. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm planning to hit the games, going to cheer for the Guardians. I think they're playing the Baltimore Orioles. I'm not sure who they're playing, but I think it's the Baltimore Orioles they're playing. And, of course, we're going to be watching Sixty Sabathia getting into the Hall of Fame. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be on the Puerto Rican parade.
All right.
Parade that all the Latinos do in Cleveland. So it's going to be a whole Cleveland week, man. I'm very excited to connect with the people, and we're going to be signing autograph and hanging out in Cleveland places. So thank you for the opportunity that you get to talk to the fans about this.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
for sure.
And we appreciate Jay and you guys for connecting and coming on the show. And so, Cleveland fans, you want to see Omar, there's plenty of different chances. And he's got
Say hi to the kitties.
Jay, I'm surprised you don't have your cat ready to go. If I grab,
I locked the door so they wouldn't photobomb me.
But Omar Vizquel, Cleveland baseball legend here. Thank you so much for taking the time. This is the Voice of the Land. We'll be back on the other side of this break talking more sports. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Plate and Be On Air Network, Be On Air podcast networks.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
I want to thank Omar Vizquel once again. What an absolute treat that was to talk to him, Jay. I know that he is your idol. He's the reason why you played shortstop. He's the reason my wife played shortstop. So many people. We got a chance to talk to him about that. But
Kevin, I just wanted to ask you, as I never was going to ask you until now.
Yeah.
After that interview, did you just feel like you were like juiced up, like you just drank like 5 Red Bulls? Because Tiffany was getting annoyed with me. She's like, "What is with you?" I'm like, "Dude, I just interviewed Omar Vizquel. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm so pumped up right now. Like, I just gotta go on a walk or something and get it out of me."
It's gonna sound bad that I say no, but like,
Well, you got a kid. You gotta almost stay calm at night, so you can't get all jacked up like I do.
Yeah, but also like, I was like, "Is this like? Did that just really happen?"
Yeah,
Like,
I had that too. Though.
I
Is
couldn't.
this real life?
I couldn't believe it. Like, I was still in disbelief that really happened. And I know I tweeted about this when we, posted who was going to be on the show, like what interview we were playing tonight, who we got a chance to talk to this week. But I wanted to reiterate it here on the show. I'm Kevin Arnold. He's always Positive J. Peter Tellep, alongside as well our producer extraordinaire. This is the Voice Land. We thank everybody that is tuning in. If you're a new viewer, just so you know, this is a show where if a hot take comes out, we're not going to just generate hot takes all over the place. If a hot take comes out, it's genuine. We're going to be as passionate as possible, even though some people might call me monotone. I might get into that later. I might not. We might save that.
We'll save it for next week for sure.
Save it for next week. I'm going to need to watch some
Let
film.
it simmer. Let it simmer.
Watch some film. Let it simmer. But
wait. Let it simmer, Kevin. I can
Let it.
only talk in one tone because that's what we do in this show because we have no,
no
Personality, I
inflection in our
guess.
voice because we're not passionate about anything. I digress. But
Anyways.
it was very special afterwards. I didn't want to do it during the interview because, you know, I don't want to make things about me or about us or anything. Like, it was about talking to him and his great work with kids, but getting a chance to tell him what he meant to me and my grandfather, like the memories. Of course, Grandpa still living, 97, World War II veteran, but just doesn't get around very much anymore. When I was a kid, he had 20 to 30 game season tickets. And at least one Sunday, I got to go with him. Another Sunday, my sister would get to go with him. And, you know, we got to go to at least one game a year. And he's the one that taught us the game of baseball and, you know, pointed out Omar Vizquel and the skill, the talent, the work ethic that Omar had, and then getting a chance to see the 90s Indians. And yes, we can say Indians because that's what they were at that time. Those memories are going to last forever, and I'm going to tell Lincoln about them. I'm going to tell the rest of my kids about them and tell them about their great-grandfather because that's how impactful he was on me.
He was just, I'll argue against this myself. I think he's the greatest, but everyone will tell you he's literally the second greatest fielding shortstop to ever play the game of baseball. That game is so old. Like, people have been playing it forever, and he is the second best to ever do it. Only reason I think he's number one. If he'd have did a backflip on the field, everyone else would have said he was number one too.
But
just my opinion.
But like like the story I just told, there's so many others like that, and and I know that it's not lost on him, and that's why he tries to give back. But he's not also
on your
not
station today. They actually had a survey on ESPN Cleveland, like, who's your all-time favorite Cleveland player?
Cleveland
Omar
athlete.
has came up many times on that.
Yeah, they thought it was just gonna be LeBron, and there was I was very impressed by like the
wide range of players.
Wide range, yes.
But Omar was said multiple times, just the impact, like you said, he had on so many Cleveland fans is forever. So
thank you so much to Omar Vizquel. Make sure you guys get out if like you can get involved. Go to Lake County captainsbaseball.com. There's information about what him and Carlos Baerga are going to be doing there next week. He's going to be in town for a while, as he just said in our interview.
Before we end, we'll replug everything, give you guys the dates and time and all that for sure.
Yes.
The end of the
I'll
show.
have you do that because your email's a little bit more accessible right now
than
mine is. But thank you to Omar, one of the great athletes. Great athletes have come through the Guardians, the Cavs, and the Browns, who start training camp officially tomorrow. I guess it would be today because they had the injury designations of non-injury football or non-football injury list, the PUP list, expected names, some unexpected names. Like, it's the start of training camp. I'm not here to break everything down. There's a lot of caution, and I'm sure Kevin Stefanski tomorrow will say, well, this guy and this guy were more caution because, you know, they were working out. They were trying to get ready for the season and, you know, just kind of, they felt a little something during their conditioning test. So we're just taking it easy. But they do go back to the Greenbrier. They're going to isolate themselves until August 2nd. They will start practice tomorrow. Just before 3 o'clock will be their first official training camp practice. And the big news, really, there hasn't been much out from the time Jerry Jeudy was traded for till just now when Amari Cooper signs a restructured one-year deal, $20 million guaranteed, a $5 million pay raise. Jay, I mean, a lot of people have said it today and been kind of saying it over the last few days. A quiet off season, and it's almost like people are. You sense like disappointment, especially in the business that we're in, because we want content, and the Browns are always drama-filled content, all of that. The biggest question out there is Deshaun healthy? Is he going to return to form? That has been done at nauseum. I'm not going
the new
to
OC going to unlock Deshaun Watson.
Yes, that conversation has been had every single day, and it'll be had every single day until we actually see some actual games this season. But a quiet offseason, like, this is what we've been clamoring for, to be a good team, trying to get to a great team. The good teams, the good culture teams have quiet off seasons.
You know what you want your big news to be? Everyone reports to camp.
Yeah.
That's all you want to hear.
And guess what? Everybody did.
And that was awesome.
Everybody did. Even if they can't participate.
And the one guy was holding out, he got the contract settled, which, thank you. thank you, because we need Amari. I don't want him missing. I want him teaching all those young receivers everything he knows, because he is a world of knowledge, especially when it comes to route running. Ain't too many better in the league. So what a blessing. Starting off the training camp, perfect notes. Let's go. I mean, I don't know. I am getting
excited.
Yeah, the football's starting to creep in the air. I'm starting to get a little excited, Kevin, but
in general, football wise, I'm starting to get excited again because, you know, I've been involved with high school football. Peter, you're involved with high school football. That's what starts it all. The first Friday night, it's August 23rd this year for high school football here. So much great talent.
Less than a month away.
So many great matchups. I mean, I know you guys have, and I'm trying to, you know, connect my other place of business or my other place of employment with the game as well. But Perry Kirtland, 2 defending state champions, lower divisions, but powerhouses.
Oh yeah.
In week 3, like 3 weeks in, you're getting these type of big matchups.
Well, and we were there. I mean, we were there last year for the, you know, everyone thought Kirtland was going to win that one, and Perry came in and beat him.
Yeah.
At Kirtland. And that
doesn't happen under Tiger Laverie. That doesn't really happen. And Perry was able to do it. So you knew a special season was ahead. And the Hornets still had the ability to have a special season as they did as well in the Chagrin Valley Conference. But high school football, and like you have all of the college football media days. You have NCAA.
You got
25.
the NCAA game out, which is getting everyone really ramped up.
I can't play it.
Neither can we.
I can. I don't know. I don't play video games in the summer. I'm weird like that. It's like an internal rule. And I've literally been like that since I was a kid. Like I told you guys, I'm an OG gamer. I've had the original Nintendo, Sega, all of it. When I was a kid, we didn't play video games in the summer. Never did.
Don't you need a PS5 or
I have
Xbox?
One of those.
Xbox X. Or
when the Spider-Man came,
we have the one. So
the second Spider-Man game came out, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's when
you got me with the Spider-Man.
That's when he bought it, was the second Spider-Man game. And yeah, I know it's just on next gen platforms. Like people at work are putting together a dynasty league, playing against each other, but they have to pick all MAC schools.
Jacob was really looking forward to playing it, and then we found out, access denied.
I mean, it's not like I have a lot of time. When
he's on summer break, he's got time. So he's disappointed.
But when we finally get Lincoln to actually go to sleep, we could probably, pull up. One of us could play the Switch while the other person, plays maybe the PS4 and stuff, because you can do the Switch handheld. We have a PS4. We can't play NCAA 25. But by the time we get him to bed,
you're tired.
We just fall asleep.
Been there.
I mean, it's
still like, as soon as there's like 20 seconds of silence, like it's quiet. Out.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of where we're at, because Lincoln's running around and everything, so we're actually chasing him. It's not like we can keep up when he was rolling and then crawling, but now he's walking and basically going straight to a sprint around the house. Yeah, we're a little bit more tired than we were when we first brought Lincoln home from the hospital. But yeah, I would love to play that game, but it still gets you excited about football season. Now the NFL still not until September 8th, but you're starting to once you turn the calendar to August, that's when that feeling really starts to rise. And now that they've actually shown that they have that culture we talked about last year, Kate, don't talk about it, be about it, mainly with the Browns. That's where that tagline was brought up, was with the Browns. Kevin Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year. Like, I know what I can expect, or what I should expect from Kevin Stefanski and this great roster. Like, high expectations are there. So I can get excited again in the offseason, or as we get closer to the season, because you've shown me you're capable of doing this. Now you got to show it again, start from the beginning, show it again, and do better.
And that's the thing. I think this year it's we're expecting greatness, not hoping for greatness.
Right. Yeah. That, like, hope has turned to expectation. That's
back to
a perfect way to put
this
it.
Real world again. Like, what's going on here? Talking to Omar, we're expecting greatness from the Browns.
And the Guardians are up 2-1
now. Am I in the
now.
upside down? Because if I am, just leave me there. I'm cool.
Donovan Mitchell decided to stay here. A star decided to stay here. And
again, stars have been staying in Cleveland. This is great.
Yeah.
We have a championship.
If only my U.S. soccer squads would actually get their act together. But that's a different conversation.
Something else we do have to talk about. Next week, we will be dropping some major show news.
Oh, yes.
We didn't even think about talking about that, did we? No,
because, I mean.
I'm looking at the news pretty much right now. I'm like, we should probably tease this.
Yeah, we should probably tease that. So on the other side, we will do that because, I mean, look, we were going to talk mutant.
We'll talk mutant.
The mutant saga.
And we got to
look, the Olympics are starting. Like, they've already started today. I got to get some Olympic talk in here at some point. We'll do that. Maybe on the other side of the break, but at least moving forward, there'll be plenty to talk about from the Olympics. What other sports are you watching? Have conversations with us on social media, on Twitter at VTL_pod. I'm at Kevin7. That's Kevin with an A, at Always Positive J, and at LPV Productions. We actually will talk back and have real sports conversations with you. One final segment on the other side. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Plate and Beyond Air podcast networks.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that is partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back one final time on this Wednesday, July 24th.
Yep. I definitely know it's July 24th. Don't ask me why I wrote that. I had to write that date down like 30 times today. I was like, 7/24, 24, 7/24, 24, 7/24, 24. Sorry to bore you.
As you get older today. Yeah, but as you get older, and as it usually does, summer goes by fast. The year seems to go by fast, even though it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Once you kind of look back,
it's flying, dude. It is flying by. Every time I look at my little countdown for vacation, it's like, oh my god, I'm going to be married in less than 2 months now. It's like pretty soon it's going to be less than a month, and then it's going to be down to the weeks. Yeah, and that's what I told Tiffany. I'm like, that's the beauty of us waiting to do this is we only have to wait to the summer. Like the summer flies always. So I'm like, it's a great, like, if I had to wait through all winter for this, it would go so slow.
And there's enough to keep your mind in different directions instead of just solely focused on that. But speaking of summer, there's still plenty of activities and camps and training is going on. So we wanted to make sure that we, reiterated what Omar Vizquel, our great guest. Thank you so much for joining us this week, Omar, but what he's going to be doing with Carlos Baerga. So the first event that they're going to be doing, Lake County Captains Baseball Camp at Classic Auto Group Park in Eastlake, Ohio, home of the Lake County Captains, high A minor league team for the Guardians organization. This is going to be for kids ages 6 to 12. Dates Monday, July 29th to Friday, August 2nd. So all next week. Start time 10 o'clock in the morning. Lunch will be included. Got to take care of the kids. Got to get them their food.
Got to register.
Got to register. Monday and Tuesday, though, training will be done by Omar Vizquel and Carlos Baerga, two baseball legends here in town, giving you all of the tricks and trades to your kids about this great sport of baseball. The other thing that's going on, meet and greet event with a dinner with Omar and Carlos. That'll be Tuesday at 6 p.m., July 30th. Limited spots available. You can register. There's a link. I'm sure if you go to captainsbaseball.com because it's connected with them as well. And if you search Omar Dinner, you can also find that. But you do need to register. It will be at Classic Auto Group Park. You get a dinner with them, meet and greets, probably answer some questions for you. And then you take in a nice minor league game. Travis,
hopefully I'm trying to try my best to get down there because I really, really, really want to meet Carlos Baerga, and I definitely meet Travis Bazzana. And you know me, man, I got to get him on the show.
Number one pick. He said he's going to Lake County, and he was going to start
I told you, Kevin, as soon as I hear that stuff, first thing goes to my mind. I'm like, got to get him on the show. It's for the fans.
Captains are on the road right now, but if he joins them at the end of this week, turn around, they're coming home next week. So you will take in the game with them as well. So 2 things going on Monday and Tuesday next week as part of the Lake County Baseball Camp, the Captain's Baseball Camp. First 2 days instructions by Omar and Carlos, and then the dinner, the meet and greet dinner next week at 6, Tuesday, July 30th. Plus, then you take in the Captain's game. Jay, we have some big news for ourselves dropping next week. Someone, maybe the show expanding a little bit and
Might be growing.
might be
growing
a little bit. So
I'm very excited about it.
yes,
I think you guys are going to love it. And I just can't, I don't want to say anymore, man. And I'm not good at holding secrets.
I'm sure a lot of people that tune into our show, or at least, tune in every now and again, have followed this person. So all will be revealed next week. Yes, we're going to save the announcement for when the cameras go live next week.
I couldn't hold it in with Omar. We'll hold it in with this one.
So we gave you a little bit this week. Now you gotta really pay off the tease next week by tuning back in to the Voice of the Land next Wednesday. There's a lot going on right now. I mean, you got the stuff with Omar. We did that interview. We got big news coming. The biggest event every 4 years, the summer version of it, the Olympic Games are going on. Started today. Boy, oh boy, our youth, under 23 soccer team really took it from the home country of France. And our rugby team did not do much better against Fiji, who has their population is less than the amount of people in the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah, but the good news is the man, LeBron James is going to be holding the flag for his first time ever a basketball player to do it. Just a kid from Akron.
I'm going to again, we have this, we talked about it last week. We have this back and forth possible putt match against our friends with the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast.
Oh, those punks.
Well, look.
Oh, I got to hold it in.
We're going to hold it in. We're going to talk about that next week. We need to see, because their show is recorded. We need to have it released, review it, watch the film, watch our promo as well, kind of make it a little bit better. But we're going to pay off this whole thing. This isn't just going to be a promo back and forth. We're going to putt. But that got my blood boiling. I've let that go. There were conversations about LeBron this week. They got my blood boiling, but I've let those go. Because it's the whole LeBron versus MJ debate. We're not getting into it. Just enjoy greatness when it's in front of you. Please. Just a PSA to everybody. Enjoy greatness when it's right in front of you. Thank you. LeBron, flag bearer, Coco Gauff, 20-year-old tennis player. This is her second Olympics at 20 years old. She will also be a flag bearer. They are going to be on the Seine River. I think it's the river, not anything. It's not like a sea or whatever, but right there with the Eiffel Tower on boats, going down the water. You see these athletes walk into the Olympic Park where track and field usually goes on. Every spot that it goes to. This is going to be really cool to see this opening ceremony on Friday, and with LeBron as
what time is it Friday?
I believe it'll probably air on tape delay at 8:00 prime time on NBC
in the morning.
No,
at night. All right,
but it'll be live. You'll probably see some pictures coming out during the day because they're 5-6 hours ahead of us.
I think so. Yeah, about 6.
So they'll probably do it at 8:00 that time. It'll be happening 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon our time. But NBC, as always, they will replay stuff they can't do live during the day. They'll replay the biggest stuff during prime time at 8:00 Eastern time. So be looking for that and looking for, just a kid from Akron now carrying the flag.
Yeah, I'm pumped for him.
As much as there's craziness going on.
And he's going off, dude. He's supporting that team. He's all right, I just want everyone to know, I'm still LeBron James. This is still my team. And just get on my back at the end. I'll get us to the victory lane.
Yeah, there's some issues.
I don't know how many years he's been playing. 22 years.
This will be his 22nd season coming up.
It's insane what he could still do.
And think about all the playoff games he's played in. And then he's played in 3 other Olympics, I think, because he took the bronze. Then he has 2 gold medals. So this is his 4th Olympics as well. He's doing all of this, putting all of his basketball miles on, still being a great father, great role model, great husband. All of those things, great entrepreneur and business leader, all those types of things. Just a kid from Akron. When he says that should resonate with people. Just a kid from Northeast Ohio. tough upbringing, but worked his ass off to get there. And I think even though his son is now in the NBA and people call it nepotism, he made sure his kids worked and are working towards what they want. Do they have more resources than LeBron had? Yeah. That's what he worked his ass off for.
Yeah.
You worked your ass
that's your
off.
goal is to, you know,
let your
provide
kids
better
have
for your kids than what you had for
Yes,
yourself, usually.
That's exactly what it is. And no one understands it when it's pro athletes.
Well, Kevin, it's 9:00.
It is.
We are going to have to hold off. We were going to talk about the mutant saga coming up in the MCU, that's fine. I don't mind holding off. We got
one more
Deadpool
PSA
Wolverine.
before we go.
What's that?
Look, if you're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, which is like supposed to be the movie that gets everybody back to on the MCU side, no spoilers for a little while, please. Not everybody can get to a theater just like
The good guys win.
that.
The good guys win. Spoiler.
Who's the good guys?
Yeah, I don't know. It's good I point there. I guess it's a show about an anti-villain.
Yeah, right?
Well,
yeah.
Who's the good guy? Deadpool's the good
he's
guy.
Yes, but like he takes a different approach to being a good guy.
I know, it's great. It's such a good movie.
Perfect pairing of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Can't wait to see this. I won't get a chance to see it opening weekend this weekend because I will be kayaking through caves in Kentucky.
Good for you.
Nice, peace, and quiet, and just relaxing over the weekend before football season really starts to take hold of all of our schedules, plus everything else. So for Always Positive Jay, for Peter Tillett, for our great friend Omar Vizquel, I'm already going to call him friend of the show. He's been on once, but he's already talking about coming on again, us meeting him next week. So thanks to Omar Vizquel. I'm Kevin, and I'm reminding all of you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game or that you're monotone. We truly love you all 3,000. Jay.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
And live life. All gas, no brakes. We'll see you next week right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Networks.